Hey everyone! Today, we're going to dive into one of Python's most powerful tools, the dictionary. Seriously, if you've ever needed to organize and look up information in your code really fast, then you absolutely have to understand dictionaries. So, let's get right into it.
So, here's what we're covering. We'll start with what a dictionary actually is. Then we'll get hands-on with creating and accessing them. We'll cover the essential rules you gotta know, see how they stack up against other data types, and finish with why they are just so important in the real world.
All right, let's kick things off with the big question. What in the world is a Python dictionary?
Well, at its heart, it's just a collection that stores data in pairs. You have a key and you have a value. The best way to think about it is like a real-life dictionary. The word you look up, that's the key. The definition you find, that's the value. It's a super intuitive way to link two pieces of information together. Now, there are three main things you've got to remember about them. First, they're ordered, which means they remember the order you put things in. Second, they're changeable, so you can add, remove, or change things whenever you want. And third, and this one's a big deal, you can't have duplicate keys. Every single key has to be unique. Okay, that's enough theory. Let's roll up our sleeves and see how you can actually make and use these things in your code. Making a dictionary is incredibly easy. All you need are some curly brackets. You can see here we have our keys, brand, model, and year. And each one has a value. Just wrap the whole thing in curly brackets and boom, you've got yourself a dictionary. So you've made one, but how do you get the data back out? It's just as simple. You just use the key's name inside square brackets. So if we want to know the brand, we just ask for the brand key, and Python gives us back Ford. It's an incredibly fast way to find exactly what you're looking for. You know, there's actually another way to create dictionaries, and that's by using the dict constructor. It does the exact same thing. The only real difference is how it looks. See how the keys don't need quotes with this method? Both ways work perfectly fine, so it's really just a matter of personal preference. All right, every data structure has its own little quirks and rules, and dictionaries are no different. Let's go over the key rules of the road so you can use them without running into any trouble. Remember how I said that dictionaries are ordered? Well, that wasn't always the case. It's actually a pretty recent change. Before Python 3.7, dictionaries were a bit of a Wild West. They were completely unordered. But now they remember the order you add items, which is a huge improvement and makes them way more predictable. So, we know you can't have duplicate keys, but let's think about that for a second. What do you think would actually happen if you tried to use the same key twice when you're making a dictionary? Well, the answer is pretty straightforward. The last one wins. Python sees the key year twice here, so it just keeps the very last value it was given, which is 2020. This is super important to remember so you don't accidentally wipe out your own data. And hey, if you ever need a quick head count of how many items are in your dictionary, you can just use the built-in len function. It's a super fast way to check the size of your dictionary. Now, this is where dictionaries get really cool. Their flexibility is amazing. The values can be literally any data type in Python. You can have strings, numbers, booleans, lists, or even stick another dictionary inside. This lets you build some seriously complex and well-organized data structures. Okay, so you might be wondering, Python already has lists and other ways to store things. Why do I need dictionaries? Well, it's all about choosing the right tool for the job. This table breaks it down nicely. You've got lists, which are ordered and changeable, tuples, which are ordered but you can't change them, sets, which are unordered and don't allow duplicates, and then you have our friend the dictionary, which is ordered, changeable, and doesn't allow duplicate keys. Each one is built for a different purpose. So when is a dictionary your best bet? First, performance. They are lightning fast for looking up data. Second, when your data has a natural key-value relationship, like a name and a phone number. Third, you need flexibility to change things on the fly. And finally, they are perfect for organizing structured info, like all the settings for an application. And that brings us to the big question. Why does any of this actually matter? Let's talk about where you'll see these in the wild. The truth is, dictionaries are everywhere. Think about any user profile on any website. Your name, email, user ID, that's almost certainly stored in something that works like a dictionary. They're also used all the time for an app's configuration settings. And they're fantastic for mapping data, like turning a state abbreviation into its full name. It really all comes down to this. Because they're so fast, so flexible, and so easy to understand, dictionaries truly are one of the most essential and powerful tools in any Python programmer's toolkit.
So we've covered the what, the how, and the why of Python dictionaries. They're an amazing way to organize and retrieve data that's connected. The only question left is, now that you've got this awesome tool under your belt, what are you going to build with it?